Sharmane here with another paper craft tutorial, and in this video I will show you how I dyed these sheets of paper using homemade natural dye. I used avocado. This guacamole is just for representation. I actually used the peel and the seed. Then I also used the skin of yellow onions, so not the onion itself but just the skin. Then lastly I used black beans. Anyway, before we proceed with the video, may I invite you to click subscribe and turn on notifications, and maybe give this video a thumbs up as well. So the original purpose of the dyes which I made was actually to color in some cotton cords that I have. I've actually been doing a bit of macrame, so the coloring in or dyeing in of paper was an afterthought with the leftover dye. So this is how I made the natural dyes that I used. So I boiled the organic matter for about 1 hour in 2 liters of water. To get the pink, I used 2 pieces of avocado peel and the stone. For the orange, I used 8 pieces of yellow onion skin, and then for the gray, I used 1 cup of black beans. As I've said, this ratio is what I use to color in the macrame cords. So if you're using it on paper, I think maybe you can use or adjust it to a ratio that you think will work with the size of the project that you're working with. So the leftover dye I put in these jars, and I just used these small cotton sheets because I wasn't sure if it was gonna work or how it would fare. So I decided to experiment and see if it will work. Basically, I used these cotton strips and just put them inside the jars and soaked them in there for overnight. Maybe if you're using thinner paper, but this is actually I think 90+% or 100% cotton, so I was able to soak them in the dye solution overnight, and their integrity was not altered in any way. And then the next day I was super happy with the results, that I put in more paper in the jars, took out the smaller sheets and dried them up, and I got really good colors. So this one's the gray one, as you can see on the screen. Sorry if this is shaky. This shot was actually just handheld. These are the pink ones, and then this is the orange one from the yellow onion skins. I added more paper sheets of different types, and some are thinner, and then I only soaked them for about an hour, and then I decided to dry them up on the clothesline. The sun was up and it took only a couple of minutes for the sheets to dry, and I'm super happy with the results. It is that light kind of hue that I wanted to get. I didn't want to get those super intense colors. So glad with how it turned out. So I think you'll have to do experimenting as well, and there are a lot of resources online if you want specific measurements for your dyes just for handmade paper. Whereas basically I used avocado to get the pink ones, as I've mentioned, and then to get the orange tinge I used onions. Apparently yellow onion and the red kind of onion will yield a different color of dye, so that's something to note as well. The one that I made just gave it a nice tint of orange on the sheet, and I just love how delicate it looks. As for these gray ones, actually I made a mistake. I didn't pre-soak the beans, so if ever you're gonna do this next time, if you want a more intense kind of gray, pre-soak the beans for 24 hours before you actually boil them to make the dye. Anyway guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial of sorts, and I'll see you again in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.